Welcome to Star Bios, the podcast where we delve into the fascinating lives of Hollywood's most beloved icons. I'm your host, Casey Gold, and today we're shining the spotlight on the incomparable Paul Newman. With his piercing blue eyes, chiseled features, and unmistakable charm, Newman captivated audiences for over 6 decades, leaving an indelible mark on the world of cinema. Born on January 26, 1925 in Shaker Heights, Ohio, Paul Leonard Newman was the second child of Arthur Samuel Newman and Teresa Fetzer. His father, a successful sporting goods store owner, was a kind and gentle soul who instilled in Paul a love for athletics and the outdoors. The smell of freshly cut grass and the sound of children's laughter filled the air as Paul spent countless hours playing catch with his father in their backyard, developing a strong bond that would last a lifetime. Teresa, a homemaker and former teacher, was the glue that held the family together, providing a nurturing environment that encouraged her children to explore their passions. She'd often read to them from classic novels, sparking Paul's imagination and fostering a love for storytelling. The Newmans were a close-knit family, and their home was filled with warmth, laughter, and lively discussions about politics, sports, and culture. The dining room table was always abuzz with conversation as Arthur Sr. regaled the family with tales of his adventures in the sporting goods business, while Teresa shared stories of her own childhood, growing up in a family of modest means. These early experiences would shape Paul's perspective on the importance of community and social responsibility, values that would stay with him throughout his life. Growing up in Shaker Heights, Paul was surrounded by the tranquility of suburban life, with tree-lined streets, parks, and a strong sense of community. The town's picturesque landscape, with its rolling hills and sparkling lakes, provided a serene backdrop for Paul's childhood adventures. However, this idyllic setting was not immune to the turmoil of the times. The Great Depression had left its mark on the nation, and the Newmans, like many families, felt the economic pinch. Arthur's store struggled to stay afloat, and Teresa took in sewing and alterations to supplement the family income. Paul remembered the sound of his mother's sewing machine whirring late into the night as she worked tirelessly to make ends meet. These early experiences of financial uncertainty would later shape Paul's perspective on wealth, fame, and social responsibility, instilling in him a deep appreciation for the value of hard work and the importance of giving back. As a young boy, Paul was an adventurous and curious child, often getting into mischief with his older brother Arthur Jr. The brothers would spend hours exploring the woods, playing sports, and dreaming up fantastical stories. They'd create their own games, using sticks and rocks to craft imaginary worlds, where they were the heroes of their own epic tales. This early spark of creativity would eventually ignite Paul's passion for acting, but it was his love for athletics that first took center stage. At Shaker Heights High School, Paul excelled in football, basketball, and track, earning a reputation as a talented and dedicated athlete. His competitive spirit and natural charisma made him a leader on the field, and he quickly became one of the most popular kids in school. The outbreak of World War II had a profound impact on the Newman family. Arthur Jr., Paul's older brother, enlisted in the Navy, while Paul, still in high school, felt the weight of responsibility to contribute to the war effort. He joined the school's drama club, where he discovered his talent for acting and began to develop his stage presence. This early foray into theater would prove pivotal in shaping Paul's future, but it was also a source of tension within the family. Arthur Sr., who had always envisioned his son as a successful businessman, struggled to understand Paul's newfound passion for the arts. He'd often ask Paul about his plans for college and a career, hoping he'd follow in his footsteps and take over the family business. But Paul's heart was elsewhere, and he found himself drawn to the world of drama and performance like a moth to a flame. As Paul navigated his teenage years, he found himself increasingly fascinated by the world of theater. He began attending plays at the Cleveland Playhouse, where he was captivated by the works of Tennessee Williams and Eugene O'Neill. The magic of live performance transported him to new worlds, introducing him to complex characters and universal themes that resonated deeply with his own experiences. He'd sit in the audience, mesmerized by the actors on stage, feeling an inexplicable connection to their craft. These early encounters with the world of theater would sow the seeds of Paul's future success, but they also created tension within the family. The Newmans were a practical, no-nonsense family, and Arthur Sr.'s concerns about the viability of an acting career would create a rift between him and his son. Despite these challenges, Paul persevered, driven by a fierce determination to pursue his dreams. He'd often sneak into the local theater, watching rehearsals and soaking up every bit of knowledge he could gather. He devoured books on acting, studying the techniques of legendary performers like Marlon Brando and James Cagney. As he approached graduation from Shaker Heights High School in 1943, Paul was poised on the cusp of adulthood, ready to take the first steps towards realizing his ambitions. Little did he know that the world was about to change forever, and his own life would soon be transformed by the winds of war and the allure of the stage. As Paul Newman navigated the challenges of his early 20s, he found himself drawn to the Navy, following in his brother's footsteps like a sailor charting a familiar course. The year was 1943, and the world was embroiled in the chaos of World War II. Newman enlisted and began training as a radioman and gunner on torpedo bombers, his senses heightened by the roar of engines, the smell of fuel, and the rush of adrenaline that came with every mission. This experience would later influence his iconic role in the film The Towering Inferno, where he played a firefighter navigating treacherous skyscrapers, his character's bravery and quick thinking no doubt informed by Newman's own experiences in the Navy. During his time in the Navy, Newman was stationed in the Pacific, serving on the USS Bunker Hill, an aircraft carrier that played a significant role in the Battle of Okinawa. The ship was a floating city, teeming with sailors, pilots, and soldiers, all working together towards a common goal. Newman's days were filled with the sounds of planes taking off and landing, the smell of salt water and sweat, and the constant threat of enemy attack. It was a baptism by fire, one that would shape his perspective on life and inform his future roles as an actor. After being discharged from the Navy in 1946, Newman enrolled at Kenyon College in Ohio, where he studied drama and began to hone his craft. The college's quaint campus, nestled in the heart of the Midwest, provided a tranquil backdrop for Newman's artistic exploration. It was during this period that he met his first wife, Jacqueline "Jackie" Witte, whom he married in 1949. The couple would have 2 children together, Scott and Susan, before eventually divorcing in 1958. Despite the challenges of balancing family life with his burgeoning career, Newman remained committed to his craft, driven by a passion that would only continue to grow. Newman's early forays into acting led him to the prestigious Yale School of Drama, where he earned a degree in 1954. His time at Yale proved instrumental in shaping his craft, as he was mentored by some of the most renowned theater professionals of the era. One notable instructor, Frank Corsaro, would later recall Newman's exceptional talent and dedication, stating that he had a quality that was hard to define, but it was a kind of intensity, a kind of passion that he brought to his work. Corsaro's words would prove prophetic, as Newman's career would be marked by a relentless pursuit of excellence, a drive that would propel him to the pinnacle of success. Upon graduating from Yale, Newman began to make a name for himself on the New York stage. His breakthrough role came in 1953, when he played the title character in William Inge's Picnic, directed by Joshua Logan. The production was a critical and commercial success, with Newman's performance earning him a Tony Award nomination. The play's themes of love, longing, and small-town America resonated deeply with audiences, and Newman's portrayal of the charismatic but troubled Hal Carter cemented his status as a rising star. Newman's transition to film began in the late 1950s, with roles in movies such as Somebody Up There Likes Me, 1956, and The Long Hot Summer, 1958. The latter film marked his first collaboration with director Martin Ritt, with whom he would work on several occasions throughout his career. It was also during this period that Newman met his future wife, Joanne Woodward, whom he married in 1958. Their union would be a long and happy one, with Woodward becoming not only Newman's partner in life, but also his collaborator in art. As the 1960s dawned, Newman found himself at the forefront of a new wave of American cinema. His iconic portrayal of Fast Eddie Felson in The Hustler, 1961, cemented his status as a leading man, earning him an Academy Award nomination for Best Actor. The film's success can be attributed, in part, to Newman's intense preparation and research, which included spending hours practicing pool with professional players. He became obsessed with the game, pouring all his energy into mastering the skills and nuances required to bring Eddie Felson to life. Newman's subsequent collaborations with director John Huston on The Sting, 1973, and The Towering Inferno, 1974, further solidified his reputation as a versatile and dedicated actor. The former film, in particular, showcased Newman's exceptional chemistry with co-star Robert Redford as they played two con men navigating the complexities of a Depression-era heist. Their on-screen partnership was a masterclass in acting, with both men bringing a depth and nuance to their characters that captivated audiences worldwide. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, Newman continued to push the boundaries of his craft, taking on roles that challenged him as an actor and allowed him to explore new themes and characters. His commitment to social justice and philanthropy also became increasingly evident as he began to lend his support to various causes, including the establishment of the Scott Newman Foundation, which aimed to prevent drug abuse among young people. This foundation was a tribute to his son Scott, who had struggled with addiction before his untimely death in 1978. Newman's passion for philanthropy would only continue to grow as he became involved in various charitable endeavors, including the founding of the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp, a summer camp for children with serious illnesses. The camp, which was established in 1988, provided a safe and supportive environment for kids to forget their troubles and just be kids. As the years went by, Paul Newman continued to act in films, but at a slower pace, savoring each role and pouring his heart into every performance. The silver screen still beckoned, but he began to focus more on his philanthropic work, particularly with the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp, which had become an all-consuming passion project for him. Founded in 1988, the camp was a sanctuary where children with serious illnesses could find solace, laughter, and adventure, free from the confines of hospitals and treatments. Newman's dedication to this cause was unwavering, and he spent countless hours fundraising, volunteering, and spreading awareness about the importance of providing a supportive environment for these young warriors. In 1998, his tireless efforts were recognized by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, which awarded him the prestigious Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award. As he accepted the award, Newman's eyes sparkled with humility and gratitude, reflecting the very essence of his character. His acceptance speech was a poignant reminder that true greatness is not measured by accolades or achievements, but by the positive impact one has on the lives of others. Newman's later films included Road to Perdition, 2002, where he played the role of John Rooney, a ruthless crime boss with a complex and nuanced personality. His performance was a masterclass in acting, as he brought depth and subtlety to a character that could have easily been reduced to a one-dimensional stereotype. In 2005, he starred in the HBO miniseries Empire Falls, based on the novel by Richard Russo, which explored themes of family, community, and redemption. Although his pace had slowed, Newman's passion for storytelling remained unabated, and he continued to inspire audiences with his remarkable talent. Despite being diagnosed with lung cancer in 2008, Newman remained active in his charitable work, ensuring that his legacy would continue to inspire future generations. In an interview with ABC News, he once said, "I've been lucky enough to have had the opportunity to do what I love for most of my life, and I think that's a great privilege." These words encapsulated the humility and gratitude that defined his character, and they served as a reminder that true fulfillment comes from pursuing one's passions with purpose and dedication. On September 26, 2008, Paul Newman passed away at the age of 83, surrounded by his loved ones. The news of his passing sent shockwaves through the film industry, and tributes poured in from around the world. Today, Newman is remembered not only for his incredible filmography but also for his generosity, kindness, and dedication to making a positive impact on the world. The Paul Newman Foundation, which was established in 2005, continues to support various charitable causes, including the Hole in the Wall Gang Camp, which has expanded to include several locations around the world. He was a true Hollywood legend, a devoted philanthropist, and a remarkable human being who inspired countless individuals to follow in his footsteps. His legacy serves as a beacon of hope, inspiring us to pursue our passions with purpose, to use our talents to make a positive impact, and to never underestimate the power of a single individual to change the world. How can we use our talents, resources, and energies to leave a lasting legacy of kindness, compassion, and generosity? That's all for today's Star Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Casey Gold, reminding you to keep shooting for the stars.